the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, highlands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. This is a special edition of the Monday Night Report, Local Government Election 2023, the United National Congress on the road to victory. Live from the front lines, this is the United National Congress Monday Night Report, streaming on all platforms.
Family, good night, and welcome to our Monday Night Report, broadcasting live from Hindu School, Grande. My name is Kenwin Phillip, and I am proud to have been the local government representative for the district of Manzalina Fishing Pond. This evening, I'm pleased to be here with my UNC sister, former Alderman Susan Hola, attached to the Grande Regional Corporation. Together, we will take you through tonight's program. Our first speaker is a native son of the soil. He is a graduate of the Grande Hindu School, Northeastern College, and the Eastern Institution for Agriculture and Forestry, where he obtained a degree in the science of forestry. Please help me welcome to the podium the young, the energetic, the past councillor and incoming councillor from Grande Northwest, Mr. Nasser Hussain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The live music production.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh. On your belly, if you got me.
Thank you very much, former Councillor Mr. Kenwin Phillip, for that warm welcome. He's supposed to be said not so young, Assalamu alaikum. Sitaram Namaste. Honorable political leader, she's on her way, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, MPs, senators, members of NATEX, chairmen of corporations, councillors, aldermen, activists, and those on the World Wide Web. And to the hundreds gathered here tonight, despite the inclement weather conditions, I say welcome. Give yourself a rousing, hearty welcome. As we speak of activists in the coming local government election, no one candidate can win any election by himself on his own. So, ground troops, you are most important here. Okay? Street captains, are you ready? Drivers, are you ready? Polling agents and PD leaders, are you ready? Thank you. Tonight I'm going to dwell a little on the fact that certain people behave as though this country belongs to the PNM. You will realize that through the years. I would like to boldly say, not inside Grande Northwest, Trinidad and Tobago has become a nightmare to live in the present. The vile, corrupt, incompetent, visionless, dictatorial, nepotistic group of certified incompetents who are led by the greatest liar of the century. So when I hear Rowley and company say that this is PNM country, I must agree, because it's only PNM who can keep the people without food, jobs, water, schooling for the children, and privilege to stand here as the councillor who represented the district of San Grande Northwest, and I did so with pride, passion, love, honesty, integrity, humility, and service, with equality to all burgesses, all. My representation with values that guided me and all our councillors was under the astute and truthful leadership of our proven woman warrior, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, our great party, and the great party, the United National Congress. See time going fast tonight again. Let's look at our current situation. The horrors and fears that have strangled our citizens through our beautiful Trinidad and Tobago is because of the PNM mismanagement over the last 8 years. The PNM's geographic discrimination is plain to see, and despite a consistent lack of funding from the PNM government, my fellow government representatives and I rose to the occasion to serve the people of our communities. We, the United National Congress, are focused on identifying the solutions for those ills that have deprived us of living a progressive life. We have been working on solutions for the following: crime in all forms, education for all with priority on equality and diversity, employment opportunities, economic transformation, infrastructure development and management, transparency to all government decisions, assistance to citizens who are unemployed and those who have health issues. You see? So as I stand here, we must all know that since this bunch of incompetent and visionless people, led by the one who took over in 2015 to the present, have proven their worth as the most destructive and uncaring government to ever serve our country. The UNC National Transformation Plan contains new and modern strategies to repair the damage done by the PNM. Well, you see how that was to provide people-centered development all across the nation. Our MPs and political leaders will tell you more about our plans and solutions tonight. They will suddenly, now the PNM coming out, they will suddenly be fixing the roads, grants galore, temporary food cards. They will come with bags of money in election day. Take it, but vote UNC. If they give you $500 on election day, they're telling you to spend $100 per year for clothing, food, clothing, and shelter. Roti, kapra, or makan. That's an insult to you, Trinbagonians. That's an insult. Okay, so I would like to say tonight that under our astute leadership, I would like to say, long live the UNC. Long live our beloved political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Let's hear you. Pado! I had to hustle the speech here a little bit. Thank you. And always remember, there is no second place in elections. So we got to win it all. Let's take the entire corporation. Together we achieve, together we aspire, and we must go on to bring back this country together. Thank you.
We are one people under the sun, one nation under the law.
My UNC family, I find you all a bit quiet tonight. Are you all ready to rumble? I want to say a special thanks to my brother and champion, Councillor Nasser Hussain. As I am here tonight to introduce to you the second speaker for tonight, Chairman Dutram. Our next speaker has been serving the Burgesses of Vega de Oropuch as a local government representative for many years. He is a well-known businessman and no stranger to the UNC platform. Please welcome the chairman of the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation, Mr. Arnold Dutram.
Cut me, you go see blood. And if you squeeze me, you go feel the love. We are one people under the sun, one nation under the law. So who feel
UNC family, good night.
Who feel the white?
Honorable political leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa, General Secretary, Party Chairman, Deputy political leaders, and the hard-working team of NATEX, Honorable MP Pokumutu Manzaluna, Dr. Rai Ragbir, other esteemed MPs, Mr. Rodney Charles, senators, members of local government, loyal foot soldiers, members of the constituency executive, all featured speakers here tonight, members of the media, those looking at home and abroad. A pleasant good night to the people of Sandy Grande and environs. I'm here to talk a little about Vega de Oropuch tonight. My people of Vega de Oropuch share and stand on one common ground. That is a sense of purpose to connect with certain levels of compassion, safety, and togetherness as a people. The United National Congress, through its esteemed honorable political leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa, expects that her vision and slogan, "Serve the People," must not just be a slogan on paper, but must be practiced in real-life situations. Serving the people must not be part-time, but full-time, not just around election time. This is her mandate, this is her expectation. As councillor for Vega de Oropuch, it is important to always be on the ground in times of flooding, disasters, highlighting the poor and improper infrastructure such as roads, bridges, trains, water courses that needs to be cleaned, socio-economic situations that affect families, health situations, education, security matters pertaining to the environment and agriculture. Our leader told us during the COVID-19 pandemic 2020-2022, there's absolutely no excuse to stop working. Funding or no funding, make things happen. Do not give up. That is exactly why I am standing here tonight. We never give up. We never give up. These are just some of the achievements that were completed and accomplished in Vega de Oropuch. Paved roads, members number 1, Vega, members number 2, Vega, Shivan Drive, first phase, Sangre Chiquito, Rampasa Trace, Vega, Kisun Trace, Vega, Krokoba, North Oropuch, Krokoba Extension, North Oropuch. Continue. Coronation Road, Sangre Chiquito, Silsaran Drive, North Oropuch, Dean Drive, North Oropuch, Flemina Tobal, North Oropuch, Nalini Drive, Sangre Chiquito, Brooklyn Land Settlement, Riley Land Settlement, Budu Highway. Roads 2022-2023 to commence soon this year. Riley Land Settlement number 2, Oropuch, El Reposo Trace, Oropuch, Oliveri Trace, Vega, Shivan Drive, second phase, Ramna Terrace, San Grande, Lucana Drive, San Grande. Despite no funding from the PNM, we begged for money from private entities and we repaired Budu Highway 3 times, Non-Parallel Road, Dockside Road in Brooklyn, and Mela Road in Vega. Bridges, 2 brand new bridges, Bailey bridges were built in Vega and in Makule. Drainage and box drains. Concrete, each one was close to 300,000, and this is the history of it. Sonja Circular, Oropuch, members number 1, Vega, members number 2, Vega, Krokoba Brahms Trace, North Oropuch, Rampasa Trace, Vega, Daniel Drain, Vega, Henderson Drain, Vega, Francis Drain, North Oropuch, Jason Drain, Buduville, Babulal Drain, Buduville, Budu Highway, Oropuch, Nalini and Shivan Drive, Sangre, Dean Drive, right-hand side, left-hand side, Ramnath Terrace, Paradise Lane, Allison Park Coal Mine, Marcus Henry Recreation Ground. And I'm going to give you a little history about Marcus Henry. Marcus Henry is a police officer who died from COVID. And yours truly decided to name Coronation Ground after his loving soul, Marcus Henry. Drainage and box drains for this year, 2022-2023, Pahari Village box drain, Oliveri Trace in Vega, Shivan Drive Phase 2, Bridge Road, Brooklyn, box drain. The Sahadin Saints Trace Cemetery in Vega, we paved a brand new car park and paved the road inside the cemetery. So when people are in mourning under the PNM, they will still have a peace of mind in the cemetery. Pavilions, North Oropuch Recreation Ground, we constructed a brand new pavilion. We constructed a jogging track, built a car park to the rear of the pavilion, refurbished and built a basketball court, installed lights for the youths. Sahadin Trace in Vega constructed a brand new pavilion, paved a new car park, Sangre Chiquito Recreation Ground. Soon to come, a brand new beach volleyball site, the first of this kind in Sangre Grande, beach volleyball in Sangre Chiquito. Brooklyn Recreation Ground, we paved the entrance for the recreation ground and we constructed a box drain. Marcus Henry Recreation Ground, the box drain is 3/4 completed. We are constructing a jogging track. Materials is there as we speak today and work is going on in the Marcus Henry Recreation Ground, formerly called Coronation. We are paving a road leading to the Marcus Henry Recreation Ground, and this road will be named after Yusuf Henry. You all remember Yusuf Henry? Yusuf Henry is the guy who died tragically in the pipeline in Pointe-à-Pitre, and we are naming that road after Yusuf Henry. He is the son of the soil. As chairman of the San Grande Regional Corporation, apart from Vega de Oropuch, and site visits were rendered personally to areas such as Manzolina Fishing Pond, Komoto Tamana, Valencia East Toko, Valencia West, Sangre Grande Northwest, Sangre Grande Northeast, Sangre Grande South. New washrooms were built in the Sangre Grande market. We are currently constructing a guard booth and an office for the market clerk. After 9 years in 2021, we finally moved under the UNC administration in council to the new garage in Toure, so that the transport and mechanical department was in a brand new, safe OSHA compliance atmosphere. With the help of council and administration, we were able to procure and purchase a brand new mini excavator, a brand new Toyota 4x4 Hilux for the municipal police, a brand new 4x4 Land Cruiser, holding 9 people for the disaster management unit. Ladies and gentlemen, and this can be on and on. And you know what? This is brand KPB. brand KPB, brand KPB, brand KPB, brand Kamla Prasad Bisesa. We deliver in opposition, and we in government, we will deliver more than we are doing. Ladies, I thank you very much. Long live the leader, political leader of the United National Congress, Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Long live the United National Congress and the UNC. Thank you.
Show me on your right hand, your right hand. Trinidad.
Oh, it's hot. I feel it hot in here. All you feeling hot in here? All you feeling hot in here? Let me have you up your boots again. Thank you, Chairman of Council. And I must add to that, the Council between 2019 to date would have approved 2 brand new water tender for the Grande Regional Corporation because we understand the frustration for the areas that are devoid of pipe-borne water. We would have also allocated $2.5 million to the Anisha Mohammed Recreation Ground, where we as a council acknowledge that sports play a major role in the development of our youths. Our next speaker is a popular attorney at law who has spent most of his life serving this nation. He is a former cabinet minister and member of parliament. My friends, he is the Northeast coordinator for Toko Sani Grande. Please help me welcome to the podium the young, the dynamic, Mr. Joseph Tony. Come on, man, we can do better than that.
Show me on your right hand. Put up your right hand. Show me on your right hand. Your right hand. Trinidad. Trinidad. Trinidad.
Good night to you, my brothers and sisters in Sangre Grande. I see you all have cut my time already, man, from 15 minutes to 12 minutes. Madam Political Leader, Parliamentary Representatives and Senators, National Executive Members, Mr. Chairman of the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation, former councillors, former aldermen, distinguished guests, brothers and sisters of the UNC family, listeners and viewers both here and abroad, good night, good night, good night. And welcome to this Monday night report here in Sangre Grande. Election day is August 14th. By my calculation, we have 62 more days of campaigning. I have my calendar on my wall, and every day I tick off one of the days. Do the same. And at the end of the day, ask yourself, what have I done today to ensure that the UNC is victorious in my electoral district? We must send a strong signal to the PNM that enough is enough. And please, please, just go, go, go. Wanting to trick you into allowing them to postpone the election for a year, the PNM was forced to call these elections by the fierce advocacy of Senior Counsel Anand Ramlogan and the commitment activist Ravi Maharaj. Give them a round of applause. It is because of them, only them, and the cooperation and support of our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, that we can go out and vote on August the 14th. Now I want to talk a little bit about the right to vote. I am begging for extra time. I want to talk a little bit about the right to vote. You know, in South Africa, there was a fellow by the name of Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in jail so that colored people in South Africa would have the right to vote. 27 years in jail, suffering under those who supported apartheid in South Africa. Rowley and his ruthless gang, no different.
They want you not to vote. Why they don't want you to vote? When a man in South Africa spent 27 years in jail just to have the right to vote. But having been embarrassed at the Privy Council, that didn't stop the Rowley and his gang. From their bag of tricks, they have now pulled out local government reform to trick you into believing that they're going to do something about the regional corporations in this country. Can you believe that? You believe and trust the Rowley government when they say about local government reform of all the regional corporations? How could you believe them? That's the same man who tell you Petrotrina closing down. The same man who told you all they're going to convert OWTU into a business unit. The same man who told you, the PNM party who told you education is their greatest gift to the country. Today they are telling you that that very education system is producing a wasteland for the youths of this country. And young people are just wasting their lives in that education system. So do you trust them, ladies and gentlemen? The taxi drivers between Sangre Grande and Mayaro. I see my brother David Law here tonight. The taxi drivers from Sangre Grande to Mayaro, you think they trust Minister Rohan Sinanan when he say he's going to repair the road? The taxi breaking up in front of them, the passengers have to use gravel to travel to and from home. I just want to spend a little time on how we got to local government reform. The general election 2015, the PNM said that they were going to have local government reform. They went to the people fell for it, they voted for them, they won the election. 2016, local government elections, they went on the platform again, local government reform. They won the local government elections. 3 years later, May 2019, they introduced the bill for local government reform in the parliament. This bill was referred to a joint select committee, and our party made extensive suggestions, which are now in a minority report there. In December 2019, they came back, local government reform. Well, we washed them good and proper here in Sangre Grande. licks, bodo, licks like rain. And we're going to beat them again this year, August 14th. We're going to beat them again in Sangre Grande Regional Corporation. July 2020, Parliament dissolves, but the work of the JSC continues. The JSC finished their work, and the bill was passed in the Parliament in July 2022. Now, understand me very well, and I want you all to follow me tonight. July 2022, they passed the bill for local government reform, Trinidad and Tobago. We now in June 2023, and the only section that they have proclaimed for action in that bill was the section to postpone elections for 1 year. If you were so interested in local government election, local government reform, what did you do from July 2022 to today? July, check with me. August, check with me. September, I ain't hearing all you. October, November, December, January 2023, February, March, April, May, June. 11 months, my God. And all you raise a stroke. And you're coming in this election to tell people that you want local government reform. And you had 11 months with the bill before you. And you're lazy and you're idling up and down the golf course, you're sleeping and you say nothing. And you're coming in this election to talk about local government reform. So brothers and sisters, I want to spend a little time tonight because I was most upset when I read in the newspaper what Dr. Rowley said last Saturday when he went to open some building in Diego Martin. Hear what he said. He said the government worked and created a structure into which it could put that responsibility, authority, and control to facilitate local government reform. You hear lie? The reform, he said, brings greater responsibility at the district level so that they can control the fiscal, administrative, and management arrangements. He called it a devolution of authority. You hear big words? Rubbish, stupidness, foolishness. And I will explain to you why. Now, I'm preparing to come to you to talk tonight. I said I would speak on local government reform. So I went and I Googled local government reform, and I came across the 10 pillars. They call it the 10 pillars of the government for local government reform. The first pillar, they said, was security and funding. They talk about security. In May 2019, the government said that they were going to allow the regional corporations to hire 100 municipal officers. I am told that in Sangre Grande, you all only got funding for about 2 or 3 or 4. But they're talking about security, one of the pillars of local government reform. Then they speak about funding. And, when they talk about funding, they want to slip in property tax. All you remember what Rowley had to say? He vociferously opposed corporation tax. Property tax, I beg your pardon. When he was a PNM Minister of Government in 2009. Now let us look at property tax. In property tax, there are 4 categories: residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural. The local government reform legislation only allows the regional corporation to collect the property taxes from residential properties. And when you collect it, it doesn't go into your coffers as extra funds, I hope those who are aspiring to be councillors understand what I'm saying. It doesn't go to your coffers as extra dollars, It is taken away from your usual allocation that you get from the parliament. So if you are accustomed getting $220 million and you collect $2 million in property tax, the Ministry of Finance will only send you $18 million. Where's the extra funding? Where's the extra funding? So I don't know what nonsense the PNM is coming to tell you in this campaign, about extra funding from property tax. You will get no extra funding from property tax. It is offset against what you get as releases from the Ministry of Finance. I see my time is, you're cutting my time. The second pillar is executive authority. They talk about executive authority. Now let me tell you something. The only person who would have executive authority under this new system is the Minister of Finance. So they move your boss from the Minister of Rural Government to the Minister of Finance. He will approve your budget. He's saying how much money you're getting for your salary. Any loans, grants, technical assistance from any international donor has to be approved by him. He's even going to tell you who are the officers to sign checks at the corporation. The Minister of Finance. And then they speak about new responsibilities. What are these new responsibilities? Nobody knows. They're going to give you an executive council and a municipal council with new duties. But who is going to fund it? Who is going to pay for it? Nobody knows. But Rowley talking nonsense in Diego Martin. Local contractors, that's a song I said. Local contractor. But they're not telling you about the procurement legislation, which says that the contractor must first register at the corporation. So if you're talking about local contractors again, all contractors are national contractors eligible to bid for contracts in any part of Trinidad and Tobago. Then they spoke about more effective municipal policing. They spoke also about development control. I don't know what that is. Infrastructural works. more box train, more pavements and so on. But where this funding is going to come from? Don't depend on property tax. Property tax is going to be offset from what you get from the Ministry of Finance. And disaster management. I want to pay tribute tonight to Bodo. Where is he? Gone? This man is an expert on disaster management now, having spent 3 years at the corporation. He deals with the methods to contain the floods in flood-prone areas, the items you need to assist constituents in flood waters, and post-flood assistance. Former Councillor Nasser Hussain. Boy, when I see the rain coming and the rain set up over Grande, I was frightened for this man. They have a river there in Picton Road. When you hear it cross the road, trouble for him and his constituents. But he has survived, and I wish him well. Then the involvement of civil society. Now, you know they're going to have an administrative shake-up. They're going to give you an executive council. They're going to give you a municipal council. Who are going to staff that? What they're going to do with the present workers? They're talking about involvement with civil society. Did they invite the unions? The Statutory Authority Service Commission? Did they invite them for any talks? Did they invite the Public Service Association for further talks? Did they invite them? But they put in these pillars, these 10 pillars, involvement of civil society. Man, listen, when I read this thing yesterday, I said, well, you know, what depths, how low will the PNM stoop to win an election? You mean to say you all publish this, put it on Facebook, put it on your website, and all the thing is nonsense and tomfoolery? What's the popular word these days now? Poppycock? And they come into campaign on that and tell you vote for them. When you vote for them, you're getting local government reform. They had the bill for 11 months. 11 months they had the bill. If you wanted local government reform, what did you do? Tell the nation what you did over the last 11 months, besides trying to postpone the elections. So brothers and sisters, they speak also about regional government plans. But these are plans which the regional corporations already have responsibility for since 2014 by the Planning and Facilitation of Development Act. Mamagai, tomfoolery, baloney, nonsense. The Spanish will say tonteria. Brothers and sisters, so when the PNM comes around in their campaign, chase them away. Tell them don't come to you with that foolishness. Local government reform is already the law. What they must explain to you is why since July 2022, 12 months ago, they have failed to proclaim the law and put it into operation. Tell them that it's only a UNC government that can put into working effect that law. They have failed us, they have failed the nation, they have failed you. And now they must get out of the way and make way for a UNC government to do what is best for local government in Trinidad and Tobago. So my brothers and sisters, thank you for the extra minutes, Mr. Timekeeper. Long live the UNC, long live Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and onwards to victory on August the 14th. Thank you very much.
Show me how the right hand. Put up your right hand. Show me how the right hand. Your right hand.
My UNC family, you heard Mr. Joe Tony. You all get enough food for thought tonight. Do not make another mistake. Remember, we are living in 2023 on 2013 salary. Remember, we are faced with poverty. Parents cannot supply their children's needs. Do not make another mistake and give the People's National Movement a chance. Thank you, Mr. Joe Tony. Food for thought. The next speaker tonight is someone who is strong, who is a strong voice in our parliament. He continues to fight on behalf of the people of this country and those of the constituency of Naparima. He served as Trinidad and Tobago Ombudsman to the United Nations under the leadership of the then Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and is currently the Opposition Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs. Please welcome to the platform the MP for Naparima, Mr. Rodney Charles.
I want to see your right hand. Show me on your right hand. Put up your right hand. Show me on your right hand.
I'm watching my time. So, all protocols observed. But I must acknowledge the political leader, the host MP, my MP colleagues, councillors, and most of all, the hard-working activists of the United National Congress. Now, I want to warn you tonight that the PNM is buying out citizens left, right, and center. My information is the PNM has a huge war chest. Some say they have $400 million to spend on this election. Any of you get anything yet? All right. They're buying out unprincipled, heavily indebted persons throughout the country. Once they know you're owing money and you cannot see your way financially, they're searching you out and buying you to serve the cause of the Cosa Nostra. I understand they're offering hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions, depending on what value you can bring to the PNM. So I say to you, and I say to those who are approached, take the money, eat a PNM food, and vote them out. They are too wicked. They have turned our beautiful paradise into a dung heap. So look out for roads being paved. Look out for 10 days work. Look out for hampers and money wrapped up in jerseys. I understand they do that in Sandy Grande. Take the money and vote them out. Now tonight, we want to be a little serious. We want to talk about Dr. Rowley's legacy. And what he is doing is breaking down the independent institutions in Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Rowley will be remembered as the Prime Minister who showed future dictators how to dismantle, emasculate, and render impotent our constitutional guardrails, thereby making a mockery of our democracy. Dr. Rowley has written the playbook on bullying. He cut in track for Guti to run. Whether it is the presidency, the trade union movement, the traditional media, the IRO, the Law Association, the Independent Senate Bench, our service commissions, the EBC, our Calypsonians, our chambers of commerce, our validating elites, all have been bought out, lock, stock, and barrel by that wicked Keith Christopher Rowley. So, any future dictator, 10 years down the line, who becomes prime minister, he already knows how to shut down all the independent institutions and roughshod over all of us. That is his first legacy, mash up democracy. The second legacy of Dr. Rowley, and hear this, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention, is the infamous Balize House. Have you heard about Balize House? The infamous citadel, the church of the PNM. In 20 years' time, Keith Christopher Rowley will also be remembered because of that monument of shame, wastage, mismanagement, and corruption. With a price tag exceeding 150 million, he said he sold raffle tickets. Now, if he sold raffle tickets to pay 150 million, it means all of us in Trinidad buy 10 tickets at $100 each. You believe that? With a straight face, Rowley tells us he sold Balize ticket and he had barbecue and curricue to raise $150 million. So you know how they raise the money? They give sweetbread contracts, top it up by 5 million or so, with a clear understanding that the gravy going to go back to Balize House. So we asked Dr. Rowley for the list. Tell us, if you have nothing to hide, give me the list. Rowley goes in there and say, Rodney Charles, he called my name. You know, like he liked me. He said, he not giving no list to nobody. And I am telling you, he cannot. He cannot, because on that list, we will see drug lords, human traffickers, money launderers, recipient of inflated government contracts, and sundry PNM eater fooders who have benefited immensely from PNM largesse. So we, the people, demand the list of donors. Rowley, your failure to give us the list serves only to confirm that the PNM is the alpha and the omega of bad governance and of corruption in Trinidad and Tobago. So let me go to the BBC now. The PNM could fool we in Trinidad. They could go in parliament and gallery and talk stupidness, and we had to take it. But he can't do that to the BBC. He can't do it. So election bells are ringing. This year they're telling us, and my colleague told you, that local government reform is the best thing since sliced bread, that it will provide jobs, that it will fix potholes, that it will provide food on our tables, that it will increase the HSF. That's what they're telling us. But citizens of Port of Spain tell us in the Sunday Guardian that they don't want to hear about local government reform. They want to hear about food. They want to hear about jobs. They want to hear about a clean Port of Spain, and mostly about crime. So last week, you know Anita Haynes? You ever hear about her? When she mashed up poor Stuart Young on the BBC for the whole world to see. She clean bowled Rowley's Gary Sobers. She bowled out 3 stumps, and he out, as they say in Jamaica, he out feeduck. Stuart Young out feeduck. So the BBC is not green corner where he could lie and could say that the PNM is handling crime. All the poor fella could say was that we're spending $5 billion annually on crime. That's their crime plan. We're spending $5 billion on crime. And Anita calmly, factually, and articulately asked, where are the measurable results to convince us that we are getting value for money for that 5 billion? Tell us, and in what time frame are we getting value for the 5 million? Are we getting 5 million of value in crime? No. And so she's telling him, let us assess how you spend the money. So Anita was talking to the developed world, right? And they understand that you give money for specific returns on that expenditure. So Stuart does not understand that you give money, but you look for returns. You give cars to the police, but you say, tell me, what is the response time if I give you, a citizen calls the police? So she mashed him up. And really, I was ashamed for Stuart Young. And you know what? The PNM had no answer for crime. And the whole world was listening to them. Now here why we have no answers for crime. Do you know that of all the large vessels that we spend billions of dollars, only one is working at this time? Of the 11 large Mako Coast Guard vessels, all tied up in Hartscourt and Stobbles Bay, only one is working to patrol all of Trinidad and of Tobago. So the TTPS, and it's not only the Coast Guard, you know, our fire stations are not fully equipped. The prison service in trouble, the immigration department, the immigration detention center falling apart. The police service arrests a 61-year-old granny instead of dealing with young, strong gang members. So we have problems. Based on a question in Parliament, we were told that the Coast Guard is unable to provide coverage over Trinidad and Tobago. So you know what? The Marish and the Parish walking into Trinidad, free sheet, with arms, ammunition, guns. Do you know that fellas are leaving certain countries, coming into Trinidad, killing us? Killing us. I see we have support. Thank you very much. So tonight, I asked Fitzgerald Hines, is it true that of the 11 large Coast Guard vessels in our fleet, only one is operational? They must tell us if one of the two recently purchased $600 million Cape-class vessels, of the two, only one is working. So Rowley went to Australia, take $600 million of our dollars, buy 2 boats in Australia, bring it back to Trinidad, and in a couple months, one of the boats, the propeller and the shaft mash up. That is shameful. We were told in our joint select committee that 5 of the 6 Austral fast patrol craft were working. That does not seem to be true. So if we left them 6 Austral fast patrol vessels, and the Joint Select Committee, the Chief of Defense Staff said 5 of the 6 are working. But that cannot be true, because 4 are parked up permanently in Stobbles Bay, and 2 are permanently onshore in the Chagaramas heliport. So you realize we have a Coast Guard that is a ghost guard. It does not exist. Nothing at all. I am told that the Coast Guard mash up vessels faster than the police service destroys new motor cars. I am told that of the 6 large Damien vessels left by us, Kamla Prasad Bisesa left them 6 large Damien vessels. All are down for repairs and are inoperational due to poor maintenance, non-renewal of the maintenance contracts, lack of fuel and lubricants, or the fact that the P&M just doesn't care. So over $2 billion of your money tied up and rotting in Stoble's Bay, that is criminal. They do not know how to manage, they only know how to spend, and they are wasting our money. When we tell them that the Coast Guard has no vessels, only one vessel to patrol our coast, they say, don't raise that because you're letting the criminals know that we only have one vessel. But the point is, they know already. They know that our ports are open, free sheet for all who wish to come into Trinidad and Tobago. Just now, I am told that 1 in 4 births in some institutions in Trinidad, health centers, 1 in 4 births are Latin. This government has ceded our borders and our country to whomsoever will may come. So it is no wonder that the Southern Division, days ago, police caught a Venezuelan near Debe with 4 AR-15 assault rifles. You know what AR-15? If they shoot through that, it will go through that place. If they come in your house, you have to say your prayers to your maker. 4 AR-15 assault rifles by one individual, and he had 11 magazines of ammunition. So we could ask the question, is all this happening by joke, or is it intentional? Can we understand that it is possible that the P&M is allowing crime in our country? You know, you don't want to believe it. They cannot be so wicked. But when you have no police cars, when you have no patrol vessels, when you have no aircraft, when you have no helicopters, one has to ask themselves if Stuart Young, let me say the government, if this government is so wicked that they don't care about the lives of us citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and they will come and you will vote for them. So I tell you, please don't fall for a hamper. Don't fall for 10 days. Please don't take the brandishments. And if they come to bribe you, take the money, take it, and vote them out. In closing, to say, we cannot take 5 more years of Keith Christopher Rowley. We cannot take any more time in local government. So I'm saying, when election day, take the money and vote the UNC. Well, they just told me. Good news, I have 5 minutes. So as an old Baptist preacher, what I will tell you, brothers and sisters, that on the day of judgment, right, when the Lamb's Book of Life is called, and when they shall ask you, brethren, brothers and sisters of Sandy Grande, who you're voting for, I want you to say in a resounding voice, we voting for the United National Congress. The scripture tells us, many are called, but few are chosen. The scripture tells us in the last days, you're going to have deceit. They shall have false prophets. And what shall they do? They shall deceive all of us. And we want to say they will come because I tell you they have $400 million. They can't fix road. They can't give you medicine in the hospital. They can't give you food. They can't give you good jobs. But they have money walking in the thing. And if they know you're in trouble, they hand in you a little kakada. And you suppose some of us get fooled. But the question is, we have children. I have grandchildren. And I have to vote UNC, not for me, not for my wife. I have to vote not even for my children. I have to vote for my grandchildren. When I was growing up, we had a job waiting for us. I went to Mausika Teachers College, just down the road. Once I graduated from Mausika Teachers College, again $330. A job was waiting. Today, I am talking to a fellow who has a first-class honors in electrical engineering. And he's telling me he's willing to take any job. He's willing to cut grass. Is that what we want for our children? We had Petrotrin where people, security guards were getting up to $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, $12,000 a month. Today, the PNM has shut down Petrotrin, brought in a private security guard, and they're making $1,500 a month, a week. That is where we're going. You don't feel because, well, the fella of the song, don't feel who black, they black, who feel they white. And all of us are slated to do the hard work, and the big boys enjoy the money. None of our children going to get the quality jobs of yesteryear. We had to sell nuts. We had to sell fruits at the side of the road. That is what this. And the question I ask myself, how Rowley could be so wicked to watch all of us and not give us the quality education we need so we could rise to the important jobs in Trinidad and Tobago? And I want you to, when you go home tonight, to think, where is Trinidad and Tobago going? When I was 22 years, I studied in Canada. And you know, you get tempted in Canada to stay. And the day I passed my exam, it was the 12th of May, 1976. The next day, I was on a plane heading to Trinidad and Tobago to go and teach in Coen Hamilton. Because I love my country. And today, I am a member of the UNC. And don't feel I didn't give it thought. Don't feel I didn't think it through. Don't feel that my family, my Baptist church, I was alienated. And I say, you all could think whatever you want. I am a member of the United National Congress. And I tell them, you could, no, they can't say a thief, they can't say a this. They say I have lice in my head, they say I hurt, leave the country, go Barbados, but they can't run me from my country of my birth. I'm born here. My neighbor string buried here, and I go dead in Trinidad and Tobago. And I want Rowley to know that he could give away Trinidad and Tobago to the 1% and leave we to suffer. But you see, tonight we have soldiers here. We are the soldiers. We putting on the armor of the UNC. And we facing the PNM, and we're going to give them battle. We're going to give them all the power and strength we have. Now, let me see a show of hands here. All who commit to Trinidad and Tobago. And the last point, they like to divide us. You know, they see me in the UNC, and they want to break we spirit. They want to tell we, you know, the leader and the this and the counselor and the this and the that. I do not care. I belong to the United National Congress. And no money, no nothing could turn me away. Now, There are people who say the United National Congress. PNM come by them, hand them a little kakada, and next thing you know, they say the PNM. You will never get that from Rodney, Atchison, Desmond, Charles. I am UNC. And I am UNC till I dead. Right? I am UNC till dead. And you see this lady called Kamala Prasad Bisasa? You see that lady? I don't know, she just take pressure licks. I couldn't take it. The kind of pressure. She is strong. She is powerful. She is visionary. So don't get chained up when they come and tell you that this councillor ain't good and that councillor should be the chairman and this councillor should be that. And they chain me up and tell me, Mama guide me and tell me I could be. What stupidness you're telling me? I'm born yesterday. I can't be no leader and no party. I am a follower of Kamala Prasad Bisasa. And I want all of you tonight, in your quiet moments, when you're talking to your maker, and I don't get me, I ain't no saint, but I just try as best as I could with all my sins to follow the good book. I try. Fail, but I try. So when you talk to your maker tonight in your quiet moments, when nobody listening, no husband, no wife, no children, just before you go to sleep, you lay back and you say, Lord, Trinidad and Tobago needs you, needs me, needs you now. What do you want me to do? Scripture says, what would you have me to do, Lord? Each of you are brilliant foot soldiers. Many of you in here are better politicians than I or the MPs. You know what to do. You know which house, which street, which corner, which family to approach. You know when I see taxi, a little round of applause at taxi there, right, left central. You know what is required to do. And the thing is, the beauty about the democracy that my fellow spoke about is all of us have only one vote, right? We could be honorable, whoever. We could be in parliament sitting down. We could be given with the richest man in Trinidad. All of us have one vote. So you just as important in this business as anybody else. So don't wait for instructions. Don't wait for guidance. You know what is required to you in Sandy Grande better than anybody else. Sandy Grande is your territory. I was coming here today and I lost. Luckily I had a driver. I'm going through areas that I don't know. You know this place better than any of us. And I call on you. I call on you. They just give me a note, time up. I call on you to do what is good for Trinidad and Tobago and for the United National Congress. I thank you.
I want to see your right hand. Show me all your right hand. Put up your right hand.
UNC posse, you have heard it from MP Rodney Charles. And sometimes when you put on the parliament station and you're fighting for us, the House Speaker doesn't want to tell him take a walk. And this is the kind of things our MPs face in parliament. Just want to acknowledge some of the MPs present here this afternoon. MP Saddam Hussein. The Peppermouth, as the leader rightfully say, MP Padarat. MP Ravi Ratiram. Senator Lida, Senator Jerlyn John, and former candidate for Toko Sandy Grande, Ms. Nabila Green, who is present with us here tonight. My friends, you all heard it. Election is right around the corner. And for those of us who didn't receive a box train or a road paved, Now is not the time for that. We are all UNC, and we are all proud. And together, once we stand strong, on the 14th of August, by the 13th is my birthday, so I celebrated it with the victory, the 13th of August. I want to say to everyone, stand strong, stand behind one leader. And with one leader, my friends, we can accomplish anything. Our next speaker is a well-respected member of the medical profession, a stalwart in the UNC. He is a generous and compassionate doctor, and at party event, you are certain to see him at the helm of the medical tent or at the numerous medical clinics hosted by the United National Congress across the nation. As such, he served as the opposition Shadow Minister of Health. Please welcome to the UNC Monday Night Report, the Member of Parliament for Komoto Manzalina. Please help put your hands together for MP Rai Rockbill.
Put up your right hand. Show me on your right hand. Your right hand. Trinidad, 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 Trinidad. Where are my people? Where are my people? Where are my people? Where are my people?
People, let me hear Sandy Grande. And people out of Grande say yay. Sitaram, assalamu alaikum, pleasant good evening. Welcome to Sandy Grande. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Kenwin Phillip and Miss Suzanne Holder. Excellent job. Give them a round of applause. A blessed evening, political leader, my colleagues, brothers and sisters. You're looking good, boy. Look at people. I sure here have more than 40 people. Is more than that? All right. You know, everyone knows me. I'll always like to put God in everything. And I really want to especially thank Pandit Ishwar Maharaj as the principal of this school and give him a round of applause. He's always here to support us in any party events. And first of all, I'm going to quote the pastor part of me from the book King James Version, Psalms 21:11. And it says, though they plot evil against you and devise wicked schemes, they cannot succeed. So my brothers and sisters, what does this mean? When you see evil schemes unfold, remember they will not succeed forever. The power of evildoers is only temporary. And God's very presence would send them scattering in a moment. And my brothers and sisters, why tell you that tonight? And my sister Jolene John, is that I ask the Almighty God to lift up our political leader, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, especially now where there is so much of darkness in this land. And you would agree with me, every one of you all. COVID came, people lost their jobs and everything else, but there is so much of wickedness, so much people doing occult activity. So we send a hedge of protection around that leader to take us out of bondage, and we pray mightily, and we thank God for her, and God continue to give her wisdom and strength. Give her a round of applause. But my brothers and sisters, my heart is heavy. Tonight, we stand here dry on the eastern coast, while thousands of our citizens across the nation have been devastated by the floods. You know, we all got up Sunday morning with terrific lightning and loud thunder throughout the country. Central and South got it really good. In our prayers tonight, as my brother Rodney Charles said, we pray for those who are being adversely affected. Our area always get flood. And I say, I love you. I love you people of Sandy Grande because you are so humble, heartwarming, and flood take care. No water take care. And you're always there to rise to the call. Give yourself a round of applause. Tonight, my brothers and sisters, a family in Matura is mourning the loss of their loved ones. A hard-working entrepreneur who was robbed and murdered in her business place. I'm hearing drums. So that is a political leader. Let's stand. Give a rounding Sandy Grande welcome.
Because what don't kill you should make you stronger. So my problems is like steroids, boy. I get my doses from all kinds of sources, and all of them still can't kill me now. You see, as them sink me on the ice floe, ride out the storm, them just like a boat. So as the box me down, so I get up. They have to wonder how others get up. And every crack I see, I just see through. And by the help of God, I just get through. I just won't stop. I feel like Hulk. Move any mountain, I trample any building like Hulk. Man better than monster. Dismantle any structure, boy. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. Rip up my shot and bust up my cheese and step on my problems. Then what we gonna do? Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out them, kick out my problems, kick out my problems. Trials and testings does come before blessings, but we have to be patient, yeah. Weeping and mourning in the night, but joy in the morning. But we just have to endure. You see, God, the way the night comes.
Let me see you dance. Put your hands up in the air. Where's the flag to the leader?
So from sun up straight to sunset, you could catch I bust in a sweat.
Go, Kajabi, go.
I feel like
Feel the power, the tempo of the UNC, your party. One leader, one party.
man better than monster. Dismantle any structure, boy. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. Rip up my shot and bust up my cheese and step on my problems. Then what we gonna do? Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out them, kick out my problems, kick out my problems. You see, the Most High never give us more than we can bear, but He give us the strength and the will and the power and the courage to handle our problems through Him. So on the count of 4, I want everybody step on their problems. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. Man under them, dismantle them, dismantle them. Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out your problems, kick out your problems. So as they sink you under, you float. Ride out the storm, them just like a boat. So as they push you down, so you get up. They have to wonder how you done. And every crack you see, you just see through. And by the help of God, you will get through.
The vocalist is here. It's a blast from the off. The Indian anthem is here. But the dance is begin. Nazare.
Raise your hands for the leader. Show how we love her.
kill you, should make you stronger. So my problems is like steroids, boy. I get my doses from all kinds of sources, and all of them still can't kill me now. You see, as them sink me on the high flow, ride out the storm, them just like a boat. So as the box me down, so I get up. They have to wonder how others get up. And every crack I see, I just see through. And by the help of God, I just get through. I just want stop. I feel like Hulk. Move any mountain, I trample any building like Hulk. Man better than monster. Dismantle any structure, boy. Trample them, trample them.
Wow! Thank you, everyone. Thank you, others. To my dear political leader, we love you and welcome to Sandy Grande. I hope you had a pleasant journey. I know South of Trinidad has been inundated with floods. And if you allow me, I will continue. So tonight, my friends, anxious families nationwide are trying to figure out every day, every night, how to live in this country, but the PNM has taken and mashed it up. The cost of food keeps going up. Last week, tomatoes was what? $20 a pound? Now, 25? Well, you know, with that rain yesterday, it's going up more. And the rainy season now start. Melange Baigan is $15 a pound. And we could go on and on. The cost of gas and transportation has gone up. And my friends, in rural communities, and as you see, we had protests recently in Kuboto by the cold storage. All the vehicles breaking up. It looked like when you protest, then the minister worked his act. The cost of medical care has gone up, my brothers and sisters. Every one of you all know that your medication, your pressure, your sugar, your heart, your asthma, your arthritis tablets have gone up. But I'll tell you something worse than that. You know what it is? For our people in this country, is either food or medicine. Which one do you think they take? Food. So instead of they take the tablet 3 times a day, they take it twice a day, 1 a day, or every other day. They're getting more sick and they're dying. And we are expecting soon the cost of electricity to go up any day now. Citizens now have the added cost to bear with increased vehicle and maintenance repair due to potholes and bad roads. People who are in Toko, San Grande, Kuboto, Manzana, like the rest of the country. Here now, we thank God that the government built swimming pools in San Grande. You know what is the swimming pool? The pothole. When rainfall is flood, you could do the 100-meter and butterfly. We have now in this country increased spiraling crime. Many businesses have shut down. And you know, with this flooding taking place, people have to suffer for the flood relief grants for years. Same thing with agriculture, Rabi Ratiram. They have to wait so long to get those grants. And the more you talk to them, it looks like they're delaying the grants longer. And with crime, they increase costs personally of replacing stolen items. You don't know how money, your home repairs, your post-trauma treatment, and recovery due to violent home invasion. There is not a nook and cranny any part of the country. Increased household expenditure to purchase water. We know that in Grande, you have to buy water. And guess what? The truck-borne water is supposed to be free, but unfortunately you have to buy it. So many people have lost their jobs because of businesses. So now you're in a rural community, and it is tougher. My brother Tony had said about local government reform. So if the people in this area don't have money to pay the property tax, that means we are getting no road, no way you're picking up your rubbish, because the people here don't have money. Very simple lives. So you have to embrace, and the government with the 8 years in government want to put local government reform? Not at all. With the increasing cost of everything, we must be reminded about the property tax. Think about what is costing us, brothers and sisters, to keep this brutal PNM government in office. Whether you're UNC, PNM, or you're undecided, it is a cost that none of us can afford any longer. So think about 8 years of PNM, what it has cost you. Did you lose your job or PNM retrenchment? Has your children been educated and writing resumes upon resumes? And guess what? No job forthcoming. Where's the policies? The political leader will say, where is the policies? What you have to do so that these children get the jobs. And before I forget, this blessed lady thought about children, the cerebral palsy children. This wicked government, stop that. And you want to go back and vote? I implore you to take an honest look in your lives. As my brother Rodney Charles said, after 8 years under the PNM regime and 5 years under the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar administration. And if you want to dance, you can dance, you know, when I say this. But within UNC, what they deliver? More than 100,000 laptops delivered to secondary school students. Give them a round of applause. The UNC government under Kamala Persad. Remember, it's your children and grandchildren benefited. And when people put that vote elsewhere, that is what they're going to lose out. Children Life Fund was established with over 221 young lives. They are asked which political party they belong to. It's children. We completed the University of the West Indies in Deba in August 2015. We, under the partnership, were the first to achieve free universal preschool education. We have to give her a round of applause because she was part education minister and children very close to her heart. She completed the Children's Hospital in Cuba. You know, I asked a question in Parliament. Now that it's no longer a global 19 pandemic, when, Minister, are you going to open the Cuba hospital? They don't know. So you know when you need a CT scan, an MRI or anything else, you have to wait. And that facility, what the leader had, her vision is to put all our services, make it medical tourism so that it can pay partly for itself. That's the vision of the party, the UNC. They also established a nursing academy with trained nurses. But you know what? It come to pass. Recruiting agencies from all over the world up to Australia coming here and taking our nurses. Yes, and watch me, for they are taking themselves and the families to better remuneration package. What plan the government have? I'm going to tell you what plans they have. None. Now I see my time running. Trinidad and Tobago under Kamala Persad-Bissessar recorded the highest amount of foreign direct investment in history, from an FDI of 500 million US to over 3 billion US. And now we're hearing some horror story about the leader will probably talk about the HSF, Heritage and Civilization Fund. Brothers and sisters, this is why the PNM continues to try to distract you with propaganda and red herring. So I'll bring something close to you. So you are in Komoto, Manzanar. My friends, the Manzanar breakaway, that was November 24th. This month will make it 7 months since that, 24 to 24. Here's the thing. Every single citizen of this country know about it. We are in the age, the digital age of artificial intelligence. And all we hear from the words of the Minister of Works and Transport is, it's gone for tender. It's gone for tender. You tell me we have all this science data. And we can't fix that road with the modern engineering. When you see China building 50 miles of road on the ocean, we can't build that? No, 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 no. That is nonsense. You know why? Let me tell you. You cut off children going to school, people who are ill, because it will take you 30 minutes from San Grande to Mayaro. But when that road was blocked off, my friends, guess what? It will take you 2 to 3 hours. And if it's bad weather, remember that ambulance with your loved one with a heart attack at Mayaro, taking 2 to 3 hours at 2 a.m. in the morning. They will die, they will dead. That man died saying, hear what? They still have closed a lot of clinics, especially cardiac clinics. Many of you will know that. You're getting calling, clinic cancer, and you cannot get your medication. When you cannot get your medication, guess what? You have to buy it, but you have no money to buy it. But I'll tell you, the taxi drivers, the users, listen, it's damage to the vehicles. So now, with the rains upon us, I will tell you, brothers and sisters, that is not potholes you're making, it's craters, so that fish could be found there. And very soon, I tell you, I don't want to prophesy in it. I want to tell you that road will be soon impassable. I agree with the residents there. That is not acceptable. 7 months afterwards is not acceptable. My time is going, and I want to conclude by saying, you know, what is important to us today is that we join together, and in togetherness is unity, and put yourselves and your family first. Put your communities first. Put your future first. Vote with a party with a proven record of people-centered development. Who was that said that? Kamala Prasad Bisasa. Put God in front and we behind. And that's where we start. Vote for the United National Congress. Vote, don't tote, but vote. Vote the UNC and the Rising Sun. I thank you, and for all the fathers and the father figures, happy early Father's Day on Sunday. God bless.
Thank you, MP Rai, and Komoto Manzelena. I'm sure we can do better than that for the MP for the constituency. Just want to acknowledge Senator David Naked, who is present here, MP David Lee, and must acknowledge the National Campaign Manager, Mr. Feroz Khan. Leader, welcome to San Grande, the heartbeat of local government. My friends, we have heard MP Rai speak about the dark days in our country under this PNM government. Crime, you name it, everything is going up under this PNM government. For those of you who was at the opening of our office, you will be familiar with this choir. They are here tonight to sing one of the leader's favorite songs. I just want to welcome to the stage to perform for you tonight the Flaming Word Ministry Choir, who will be singing the goodness of God. And don't cry, this is my favorite song also.
We just want to say good evening to Sandy Grande. You know, we think that this song is a really favorite of everyone because regardless of your religion, regardless of your religious persuasion, I think God wants to be able to know and to let you know and for it to be manifested that God is a good God. Amen. The goodness of God in the land of the living.
Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Father, we thank you for your goodness and we thank you for your mercies that we see day after day. Hallelujah. Woo. Love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me.
All my days I've been held in your hand. The moment that I wake up, I lay my head.
I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I have made, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest times. You are close like no other. I know you as a father.
I know you as a friend.
I have in the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I have made, I will sing of the
All my life you have been faithful.
All my life you have been so, so good. Breath that
We'll do it, but you'll sing with us, right?
Another one? You have another one? Yeah.
All right, so we run the other track. The political leader wants another song.
Oh, yeah.
Give another song. I just want you to know that if God is for you, no one can be against you. Let's go. We're changing the vibes a bit.
This is a soul for your production.
Oh, Lord, if God is for me, who can be against me? No man at all. No, no, no. If God is for me, who can be against me? With God on my side, I will never be denied. You say, if God is for me, who can be against me? With God on my side, I will never be denied. If God is for me, who can be against me? With God on my side, I will never be denied. If God is for me, who can be against me? With God on my side, I will never be denied. Now listen, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. You say, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. Everybody say, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. No, 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 no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. If God is for me, you say, if God is for me, who can be against me? With God on my side, I will never be denied. You say, if God is for me, who can be against me? With God on my side, I will never be denied. No weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. Never, never, never. Never, 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 no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. I say, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. If God is for me, if God is for me, who can be against me? With God on my side, I will never be denied. No, no, no. Never denied. Never denied. Whoa, whoa, whoa. With God on my side, I will never be denied. Say, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. Hallelujah. And we just want to remind you, no weapon formed against you shall ever prosper.
August 14th is election day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
With 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot, it comes down to your voice, your vote.
Don't. Are you ready? UNC.
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress on the road to victory.
If you cut me, you go see blood. And if you squeeze me, you go feel the love. We are one people under the sun, one nation under the law. So who feel the black? Who feel the black? Who feel the white? I don't know. But it's set till tomorrow night. Who feel the wrong? Who feel the right? Come and go. And all who feel the too bright, let me jump up, let me wind up, party non-stop. Ramaje dingo lekete, we come to play mass. Every creed and class, don't let nothing pass. Like a repetitive, all the love inside away.
First woman Prime Minister, first woman Attorney General, first woman to chair the Commonwealth of 54 nations, first woman opposition leader. Welcome KPP Plus, solid everywhere.
Like a repetitive, all the love inside away.
Us, and you know the rest. No weapon ever formed against us will ever stand, as long as we put God in front and we walk behind. So thank you for joining us for this Monday Night Report. I see all of you turned out, but there are thousands also listening to us and watching us on the various platforms. So we are not alone. Each one of you here, remember always, we are never alone. On August 14th, a very important day, we will all go to the polls. And do you know what you will be voting for? Can you say what you are voting for? I will show you what you're voting for. Please look at the screen. Of our children. You're voting for your family's future. So whilst we say vote UNC and vote PNM, we must bring it down to what really matters to us. And for everyone in this room and everyone listening, the most important thing is our family. And the most important part of any family are what is the children of that family. I heard Rodney speak about it earlier tonight. You talked about your grandchildren. So your children and their children. And you hold their future in your hands now. We are at a time, we are at a crossroads where that falls squarely in your hands. When I was in Myra last week, I said, close your eyes, put your hands out, and imagine what you would like to have in your hands. And then when I said, open your eyes, what did you see in your hands? Did you see a laptop? Did you see a mobile phone? Did you see an orange? I said, no. What you hold in your hands is the future of the children of Trinidad and Tobago. So when you go to vote, think about that. Don't think about the 5 days or the 10 days or the HDC house. Don't think about all the negatives that come at you. Think what is best for the children of our nation. That is what you have to do. Don't worry about the screen, you know. I am still here. You can see me without the screen. That screen is only for people who can't see, who are way out in other vids. So they'll fix it. I'm not worried about it. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Yes. UNCN proud. UNCN proud. Last week, in preparation for the local government elections, we held screenings at our headquarters. We will continue with screening persons this week. It was so heartening and inspiring. Those of you who came, some visited, some were actually screened. It was a tremendous exercise. So many people came out in support, and of course nominees to be screened. There were so many persons who came out. So we've been going, we start about 4 or 5 in the evening. And sometimes we go up to 4 or 5 in the morning. And you know why? The response has been tremendous. So many persons have come forward to offer themselves. I've seen so many bright young people, so many not so young bright people too, mature people. We have seen a lot of women coming forward, and it has been wonderful. So take a look at the screen for those of you who were not able to share those days with us. And what I've learned from that exercise that we began, and we have to continue, is that the future of the UNC is brighter than ever. So thanks to all those who came forward. And whilst the future of the UNC will be bright, we must consider people who are unrepresented. We must consider people who have no voice in Parliament. And I know that the UNC is strong, but we can use our strength to uplift all, those without a voice in the Parliament. There's a percentage of our population who do not vote because they do not feel they belong in the UNC or in the PNM. I accept that. That is their right to choose. They're left unrepresented because they believe their vote will not matter. The PNM will never work with these persons because the PNM only cares about PNM domination. The UNC is the only national party who would welcome them and say, let us work together. We have done it before. We have brought disparate groups to come together to form a mighty force to unseat and remove this wicked PNM government. And tonight I make an appeal, let us all unite and come together to remove the wicked Rowley government. Tonight I tell you from this platform that we have been holding discussions with other groups. And I'm letting you know that we will begin further discussions in the coming weeks with any one of the smaller parties who are willing to fight the local government elections together with the UNC as a united force. If we can achieve this and work together over the next 2 years, this local government election will be the first step towards the next big step of removing the Rowley government. So, we can also look at fighting alone, but we will have the discussions and then make a decision to go forward. I have to do this. The pain today of seeing my constituents and so many others flooded out again is just too much to bear. Children had to go to school today to write exams. The CAPE and the CXC flooded out. The Minister of Education is nowhere in sight to tell these children, look, if you could not reach school to write your exam, we will take a decision to ensure you have a fair chance, an opportunity to write the exams. They were nowhere to be found. Nothing coming out of the government. I want to thank all our councillors, former councillors, all the men in those regions with the floods. They came out, they were there with the people, helping people, and to say, thank you to the UNC, thank you. And so when I see the suffering, not just in my constituency, when I see it throughout the length and breadth of this land, we have to do something, to do the best we can to remove this wicked, incompetent, lazy government. There is too much suffering in this land. You know, sometimes I say I'm tired. The fight never ends because the pushback is so tremendous, because the PNM is so intent on holding on to power without delivery and responsibility. Rodney talked a little about that tonight, MP Charles. Talked about the domination by the dollar. But you God-fearing people know about 30 pieces of silver. I don't have to tell you, we all know, whether you're Christian, Hindu, Muslim, we all know 30 pieces of silver to buy persons. And that is what the PNM is hell-bent on doing before the election, on election day. And so therefore we warn you, do not sell your soul for 30 pieces of silver. Why? Because then it's the sufferation for everyone else that will befall this nation, should we feel that we could sell out 30 people. Some of you may feel UNC should run this thing alone. Of course the UNC can run it alone, and we will if we have to. But how much greater can we be? What a joyful noise we'll make unto the Lord if we all come together united to fight this wicked government. What a greater battle and victory that would be. If we can achieve, as I say, and work for this local, that is step one to the bigger step, the final step to remove the PNM. I tell you, and I saw that flooding today, my heart goes out. Why does this happen under our watch? We had done so much had been done to help with the flooding issues, to help with the job issues, every issue, everything has collapsed under this government. So my friends, I have told you before and I repeat it tonight, who vex laws? I will not allow the UNC to descend into, again, a party of class, of caste, of family dynasty, of social status. I remain here to protect the children of the rank and file, the ones I have promoted. Like a good mother, I will defend my children to death. I will never let them be used and abused as our parents and grandparents were used. And after we win these local elections, and then next step, the general elections, whether we do it united or alone, one of them, children of the UNC, will lead our great party, and I will be able to rest. At least 2 smaller parties have approached us. Discussions have begun. Some of my senior members have begun discussions with them. If we can come to an agreement in time for this next local, we will fight as a united force, capable and ready to take on the PNM. But I'm drawing a line in the sand. I will not tolerate any disrespect to UNC members from anyone who wants to come forward to work with us. Excuse me, we have to, and we will work together for the entire country of Trinidad and Tobago. So here we are today, on the cusp of another election. And here we are, you're fed up and living in constant fear. I know you're all tired of living in fear. Constant fear of murders, constant fear of school violence, constant fear of home invasions, constant fear for your child's safety, constant fear of job losses, constant fear of high food prices, constant fear of flooding. Grande escaped today, but we know what happens up here once the rain drizzles. What happens up here as well with the flooding? Yes, yes. No dredging, no cleaning of the rivers, constant fear of flooding, as I say, constant fear of high bills to pay, constant fear of losing your home, constant fear of being unable to afford health care. So fear and stress are dominant in the minds and in the hearts of most of our citizens in this country under this government. I want to tell you, it is the UNC hope and plan and vision and mission to secure Trinidad and Tobago for you and together with you. We are focused on the future. The UNC is about giving you peace of mind and happiness. We'll work and free you from this constant fear terrorizing families in our land. We created a national economic transformation plan, and we can have them put it up there for me. National Economic Transformation Plan. We'll not go into all the details tonight, but it has to do with creating jobs, growing revenue streams, so the country will have money to provide the services and goods that you need. So there is our plan. You don't just come here to talk. We do have that plan. We'll share with you. It's based on data and proven strategies. We created business, anti-crime, education, healthcare plans, and I see now that the media actually started to print some of them. They had ignored them for a while, but then we have a visionless government with no plan for your future. We will secure your lives with people-centered policies and free you from fear. By standing your ground and voting for you and the UNC in the upcoming election, you will take your first step, as I said, towards reclaiming your safety, your security, and peace of mind. That is what you deserve. So what the UNC is offering? The UNC is offering, first of all, secure communities. Everybody supports restarting community comfort patrols in your communities and surrounding areas. Everyone supports restarting community comfort patrols. This is what the UNC is offering. We are also offering secure schools. We see the municipal police in each regional corporation. We can utilize them so your children at their schools can be safe and secure. The government had promised, Joe Tony mentioned it, they had promised municipal police 2 or 3 in a corporation, some have 20. I am saying we can do 2 things that way. We can utilize municipal police per regional corporation to keep our children secure and safe in their schools. And the second thing we can do is to secure jobs, because we can then hire more municipal police officers thereby creating jobs. Secure streets. We support a nationwide plan to restore and improve street lighting in your community. We must take back control of our streets. Everyone supports increasing legal gun ownership for you, law-abiding citizens of TNT. I said secure jobs, expanding the municipal police by creating 1,000 jobs that puts police boots on the ground in your communities. Secure homes. You being able to defend your family is a human right. We support Stand Your Ground law to defend your home from home invasion and from criminals. We offer you secure neighborhoods. UNC councils, corporations will support your request to secure communities with gates or barriers to restrict non-local traffic, secure playgrounds, and enforce noise pollution laws, thereby securing your neighborhood. Secure our economy. We'll scrap the property tax. We will scrap the property tax. Stop the upcoming inheritance tax and jumpstart investment with lower taxes. You should not pay more taxes. You cannot tax a nation into prosperity. You will always fail. So this government, since they came, is tax, tax, tax. I know they have a way of saying there's tax in your waist and tax in your face and tax everywhere else. I wouldn't say the words here tonight. So it's there about taxing. We are not about using. During my term in office, we did not impose one new tax, not one, you know. These guys put tax on tires. They put tax on online purchase. They put tax on any and everything. Which one again? The tire tax, the online tax. Business levy. Tax anyway. Their way is about taxing. Our way is about diversifying the economy with our business plan to create more money. So we don't have to tax you to death. We can create jobs at the same time and diversify the economy. So these are some of the things that we're offering. And their thing now, their great latest sliced bread as it is a property tax. My colleagues spoke of it before. This property tax is like the beginning and end of everything. Property tax will give you better roads, will give you better everything. That is their answer, and I want to say just a few words on it because he's now forcing this tax on people because they have destroyed the economy. They have destroyed it. Let us look at what this man had to say. This is the same man, you know, 2015, when he came to win election, this is what he had to say on property tax.
The last general election was that property tax. Where in the PNM's manifesto is this addressed?
It's not in the document. This is one of the things we need to talk to people about.
Let me take that one. I'm glad you raised that. I heard a UNC minister, I think it was the famous Prakash Ramadan, telling people that the PNM will bring back the dreaded property tax. Let me make it abundantly clear. The property tax has already been dealt with. So for anybody in the government now to be telling the population that this PNM coming into office will bring back that tax is the highest level of dishonesty, which has been the hallmark of this UNC government. So I'm
already saying anyone claiming that bring back property tax is exhibiting the highest level of dishonesty. Played it again, you have to listen to this again. In his own words, I'm not making it up. In his own words.
purchase issues in the last general election was that of the property tax. Where in the PNM's manifesto is this addressed?
It's not in the document. This is one of the things we need to talk to people about.
Let me take
Just
that,
like
let,
the
let
other
me take
thing.
that one. I'm glad you raised that. I heard a UNC minister, I think it was the famous Prakash Ramadar, telling people that the PNM will bring back the dreaded property tax. Let me make it abundantly clear. The property tax has already been dealt with. So for anybody in the government now to be telling the population that this PNM coming into office will bring back that tax is the highest level of dishonesty, which has been the hallmark of this UNC government. So I'm
highest level of dishonesty. This is how they lie and fool people. They tell you one thing when they're begging for your votes, and another when you give them the vote. He wasn't closing down Petrol, remember? National TV. Government is not closing down Petrol. In case you were closing or opening your fridge door, I'll repeat it. Government is not closing down Petrol. And then what? All went. Today, he claimed he didn't open a building that is actually a construction site. Well, Mr. Rowley, we will deal with you that in due course. Saddam is a bright lawyer, he's coming back for you. So we told him he opened this building in Diego Martin. It's not a complete building. So we will show your hypocrisy and your lies. You remember he didn't go to President's house, eh? Then months later he said it was he was the man who went in President's house with that police service commission, meritless. I want you to play the hard hat clip, please. Look on the screen
to
again.
my surprise,
Is it good?
yes, I am surprised. I mean, to my surprise, yes, I am surprised. I mean, because while I don't expect much from some of my colleagues, I really was surprised to see a press conference by the official opposition of Trinidad and Tobago telling the population that the Prime Minister should have been wearing a hard hat because he was in fact on a construction site and producing pictures to show scaffolding and worrying about my safety because things could have fallen on my head on the site. That is the official opposition of Trinidad and Tobago. Absolute, unadulterated lie. The government is not closing down Petrotrin. Absolute, unadulterated lie. And in case you were just opening your fridge and you didn't hear that when you closed the door, let me repeat it. The government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Petrotrin. Absolute, unadulterated lie.
So this property tax, others have spoken, we will have more to say on it, but don't get shaken up and feel you don't have a property. You know, people say, oh, that's them fellas who have property. I don't have no property. I squat in. Do you know squatters have to pay property tax too? Did you know that? Squatters have to pay property tax too. Well, don't worry, I'm not a squatter. I don't own no property. I'm a renter. Really? When your landlord had to pay property tax, you think he paid it from his own pocket? So don't get chained up with these people. And then they tell us you could get exemptions. You hear lie? That's another lie. They say senior citizens and others who can't pay, you can apply for an exemption. It's not an exemption, no children. It is not, folks, it is not. You can apply for something called a deferral. And what that means, well, I can't pay it now. I have to pay it, and I can't pay it, and I can't pay it. And next thing you pass away, a pensioner pass away. Because pensioners could get the deferral. They pass away and leave their children. That falls on their children, and then what happens? Children can't pay. You know what happens? They come into the house. They could pick up your TV, your fridge, your furniture, your motor car. They call it the strain on your possessions. And if they still don't get enough, what they could do? They could take your house and sell it. So don't get chained up with this. It's something nice. You'll get money for local government, and you can't believe a word you say. Don't believe a word. Because when they get that money, you think they're really going to give the regional corporations? That will go to pay rent for Faris and his family. That will go to pay for all the recusals that these government ministers, the 200 recusals. That's what this is for, not for you. Do not get chained up. Look at their track record. Look at their pattern of behavior. Look at the number of lies they have told you. How much time you'll get fooled like that again? You get fooled once, what do they say? Shame on you. You get fooled twice? You get fooled 3 times? Well, total shame on you. Total shame. Don't get chained up. So I want to warn you, this property tax. But I have received some information, and I'm asking if this is true. Tonight, I have to warn you that there's worse to come than their dreaded property tax. The property tax is only the beginning. I have been told, and I'm asking if this is true, that the Rowley P&M plans on imposing a 25% inheritance tax on citizens. Is this true? Tell us. I have been told, and I call on the P&M to come clean about this 25% inheritance tax. You know what that means? Your parents pass away. You pass away. You leave a little something for your children or your grandchildren. Before they could get it, you have to pay inheritance tax. How long have you been having discussions about this inheritance tax? Come out and tell us. Tell us. I want to see the slide now. Oh, look at the inheritance tax there. It is levied on the value of the inheritance received by the beneficiary. So whether you leave a $5, a $10, a $20,000, a $30,000, 25% tax on your beneficiaries. It is a tax you pay when you receive money or property from the estate of a deceased. Unlike an estate tax, the beneficiary of the money or property is responsible to pay the tax, not the estate. And so we've been told government to establish a threshold value under which no inheritance tax will apply. Once that value is surpassed, they'll put on the tax. So let's wait. Just remember, he wasn't bringing back property tax. He wasn't closing petrol. He wasn't. He was never doing anything. And then everything he said he wasn't doing came to pass. So let's wait and see. They are going to tax you even after you're dead. That's what it means, this inheritance tax. That's what it is. So friends, I want to tell Mr. Rowley, talking about LG reform, as I close, I call on him, don't tell us about reform. Others have shared with you, it's a sham. It's just to fool you once again. I want you to tell us about the refinery. Don't talk about reform. Talk about the refinery. Why you abandoned a multi-million-dollar asset which provided billions in revenue and tens of thousands in jobs. You closed the refinery and fuel prices have gone up. Up and up, about 6 times, I think they've raised fuel prices. I said, don't talk to us about reform. Tell us about the 250 recusals, which has you handed taxpayers dollars to your ministers and their family, friends. Don't talk to us about reform until you tell us when the people of this nation will get a refund for the 75 million taxpayer dollars wasted on a house for yourself, Rowley, in Tobago. Don't tell us about reform. Tell us when you're going to remove Hines, the sleeping minister, for the Minister of National Security. So reform will not change the PNM's reflexes of selfishness. It will not change a lack of care for the nation. They want to tell us about reform, but will reform change the PNM reflexes of selfishness and lack of care? Will reform change that Laurie puts golfing? Put up the picture, please. Will reform change that his golfing patterns of behavior, he puts that in front of everything else? Show us that picture. Will reform change that? Will reform change the selfishness of people like Imbert? Put up his picture. Will that change the selfishness of who took off the taxes out of yachts because he owns a yacht, maybe? Watch him there. Can you put a picture? Will reform change that? Will reform change the greed of the PNM cabinet? Put them up. Rohan land selling, Faris buildings renting. All the recusals. So reform is not going to change any of that. I say don't get fooled, don't get chained up. It will not help them. So we have the flooding issues. A lot of our country down in flooding. We have the plans for flooding. I will share with you on another occasion, because tonight we have a little later running of the meeting. I'm glad so many of you are still here. I sent out a press release today about the HSF records. The first time in our history, we have lost money in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund because of the mismanagement of the Rowley government. Their failure to protect that fund. Almost 6 billion taka, is it 6 billion loss in fiscal year 2022. So we'll talk more on that. And as I say, in closing, there's only one way forward now. This is step one. Let us unite, let us come together. Let us work together for this local government election. You will get your candidates very shortly for Sandy Grande Corporation. You work with your candidates and the team here in your corporation. And let us put out whatever little differences you may have or personality issues, and let us just unite, because together we can overcome. I always tell you, with this finger, you have a tremendous power. You have the future of the nation in your hands. And with this finger, you can remove the PNM and you can vote in a caring party with a vision and with a mission to secure Trinidad and Tobago. So with your voting finger, come out on the 14th, cast your votes for the UNC. Don't tote, just go and vote. Do not tote, just vote. Vote UNC, UNC proud. God bless you, and I thank you.
Who feel the black? Who feel the white? I don't know. But it's not till tomorrow night. Who feel the wrong? Who feel the right? Come and go. And all who feel the too bright, let me jump up, let me wind up, party non-stop. Ramajadingo lekekete, we come to play mass. Every creed and class, don't let nothing pass. Yakareti TV, all the love inside away. Uptown and ghetto, feeling the tempo. So current I so, it's party day like so. Soon as we land, fun is the plan. We like the jam, like the man bam.